not a satellite, it's not a meteor.
The U.S. Navy has finally acknowledged that videos appearing to show UFOs flying through the air are real.
Mysterious glowing orbs in the night sky over San Diego, sending people rushing online to share their videos on social media.
In the 1940s and 1950s, tales of flying saucers became a cultural phenomenon in the United States. Sightings of unusual objects in the sky were used as raw materials by Hollywood to create visions of potential threats. Film posters such as Earth versus the Flying Saucers from 1956 depict these beliefs. Flying saucers have come to embody the hopes and concerns of the modern world, since they are linked to continuous notions about life on the Moon, the rivers on Mars, and ideas about Martian civilizations. Are these claimed visitors from other worlds friendly and harmless, or would they invade and destroy humanity? The catastrophic potency of the atomic bomb called into doubt technology's progressive potential. In the Cold War era, fear of the possibility of devastation provided fertile ground for terrestrial fears to develop visions of flying saucers and visitors from other worlds who may be hiding among us in plain sight. Where were these extraterrestrials if UFOs were visiting our planet? Could they possibly be among us? Today in this video, we show you some of the most recent UFO sightings that have shocked everyone. On February 21, 2021, an unexplained object soared over an American Airlines passenger plane flying from Cincinnati to Phoenix in the vicinity of New Mexico. The captain of American Airlines Flight 2292 reported at around 1:19 p.m, "Do you have any targets up here? We just had something go right over the top of us." According to a radio transmission recorded by a blogger, Steve Douglas, the plane was above the northeast part of New Mexico at the time. "I hate to say this, looked like a long cylindrical object that almost looked like a cruise missile type of thing moving really fast. It went right over the top of us," the pilot said in the radio transmission. When he heard the pilot, Douglas said he was looking to see whether he had captured a mayday call from another aircraft whose engines caught fire after taking off from Denver. "It was a pure coincidence," Douglas explained. "I was just as surprised as everybody else was." According to a statement from FAA official Ian Gregor, air traffic controllers were unable to see any objects in the region on their radar scopes. Adding to the puzzle, an object like a cruise missile should have been spotted but was not. Radar is intended to detect things in the sky that may or may not have a transponder. Therefore, whatever object went over this aircraft did not emit a transponder signal and was not detected by radar. Of course, New Mexico is well known for the Roswell event in 1947. Could it have been a stealth missile? And if so, shouldn't we all be concerned that it was so close to a plane? White Sands Missile Range's Director of Public Affairs, Scott Stearns, stated the range performed no tests on that day and that we never test in that area. Since the early testing of the U-2 spy plane in 1955, covert aircraft have flown over New Mexico, but could this invisible flying cylinder be a secret weapon system or a UFO? And what sort of aviation security threat does it pose? If it almost looked like a cruise missile, it suggests it didn't have any wings, and it's probable that it was a military test gone wrong. However, it's difficult to imagine even the worst cruise missile misfire delivering it into a busy flight path at the same height as a passenger jet in broad daylight. Since the launch of Voyager 1 in 1977, humans have been searching space for evidence of sentient life. Yet there has been no proof that an extraterrestrial race is doing the same. But what if they've been sending us probes all along, and we've just been misinterpreting the messages? The residents of Gainesville, Florida, witnessed strange objects descending from the sky firsthand. One man, Chad, happened to have his dash cam recording and caught one of them crashing down. The orb-like object appears to have a bluish glow tinge surrounding it as it drops rapidly to the ground. People are still confused about it and wonder what exactly this thing was. Speculations range from asteroids to alien pods descending in preparation for an invasion. In October of 2017, astronomers noticed an object racing around the sun that didn't have a tail like a comet and was on such an unusual trajectory that they determined it had to be from another solar system. They dubbed it Oumuamua, which means scout in Hawaiian. A Harvard astronomer recently speculated it may be alien technology, and physicist Dr. Hakim wonders whether there are more like it. Oumuamua brings up the idea of alien probes coming into our solar system. If we look at rocky surfaces in our solar system, they are covered in craters, and up until now, we've assumed that those craters were due to solar system bodies. But now perhaps maybe some of the craters you see when you look up at the moon were created from an object outside our solar system. We don't know. Oumuamua was exceptional not just for its galactic origin, but also for its extraordinarily long, narrow shape and size. Was what Chad caught on his dashcam something equally strange? Recently, the Chilean government has released a previously classified UFO sighting video. If you don't believe in aliens, this 10-minute video could change your mind. The video, recorded from a Chilean Navy helicopter on November 11, 2014, in the coastal sector between San Antonio and Quinteros, shows an unknown object flying forward at a comparable speed to the choppers before vanishing into the clouds. The item appears to spread a trail of unknown elements into the air on 2 occasions. The encounter was filmed with an FLIR high-definition infrared camera and visually corroborated by the 2 officers who made up the helicopter's crew, according to the report. While radar failed to identify the item, air traffic control confirmed the irregular traffic. When they attempted to contact with the UFO, they received no answer. Based on the thermal camera's readout, the object is warmer than anything else in the frame, and the Navy crew claims the object's speed matches their own 130 knots. The objects then appear to release a plume of some sort not once but twice. For forensic investigator Chase Klutsky, the plumes are an intriguing sight. I've just never seen anything like this before. And the plume were like, what is that? It's so unusual. Is it gas? Is it vapor? The case was investigated by the Committee for Studies of Airborne Phenomena, which is made up of scientists, analysts, and aeronautical experts, and it was eventually classified as an unidentified air phenomenon. This case is absolutely the real deal, Klutsky adds. The Chilean government analysed this footage for 2 years before releasing it to the public, and this UAP was more than simply odd. The Chilean camera could switch between optical and infrared modes, but for some reason, the plume that appears hot in the infrared viewer does not appear at all in the optical viewer. The secret, according to one expert, might be those unusual plumes. He believes the object is travelling through pockets of wet air. Others believe the plumes are caused by a jet dropping fuel, but wouldn't the 2-year inquiry have found that plane? And the object looks to be heading towards Santiago, a metropolis of over 4 million people. There are no obvious explanations for why radar did not detect this object or why the plume does not appear in the optical viewer. Nobody knows what the Chilean Navy captured on camera, so it may have been a real UFO. Antarctica is a long way from where you live, no matter where you live. Few people have gone there. It's difficult and expensive to get there, and it looks like some sci-fi ice world. It isn't secret though, just not well known. What happens there is mostly boring to most people and is mostly really technical, sophisticated scientific stuff that is difficult to grasp. All of this adds to the abundance of conspiracy theories about UFOs, aliens, Nazi bases, and other woo-woo. With the advent of the internet, particularly access to the satellite images on Google Earth, there are a multitude of snake oil purveyors ready to interpret icebergs and other ice patterns and structures for the benefit of the gullible. They are never just natural formations, but clearly alien or at least secret facilities. In October of 2020, a sharp-eyed investigator studies satellite photographs of Antarctica and discovers a spot that stops author Brad Olson in his tracks. It's a metallic-looking object encased in ice, and Olson is certain he knows what it is. Antarctica has a perfectly round saucer. When you look closely, it seems to be a raised disc casting a shadow on the ice. Olson believes that when the ice melts, an extraterrestrial spacecraft will emerge from where it was abandoned thousands of years ago. But what alien would leave their vessel in such an inhospitable environment? Antarctica was once on the equator, and plants and dinosaurs thrived there. It may sound outlandish, but the fossil record shows it, and some feel we're on the cusp of a similar discovery concerning the continent's relationship to Mars. Both Antarctica and Mars are extremely sterile environments. If I were a Martian looking for a place to live on Earth, Antarctica would be the closest thing to home I could find. A pilot flying an Airbus A320 above Medellin, Colombia, peeked out the cockpit window and observed something he had never seen before, a UFO. He promptly grabbed his phone and began filming what he was seeing, first directing the camera at his altimeter, which indicated he was flying at around 30,000 feet, and then out the window towards the clouds. He zooms in, and a bizarre geometric-shaped metallic object travels in the other direction in a straight line. The History Channel's The Proof Is Out There investigated the clip further, zooming in to demonstrate the object resembles a cube. They then spoke with a number of specialists regarding the footage. According to one expert, it is 10 to 15 feet in diameter, yet its structure is unlike any other flying object on Earth. A forensic video expert believes the movement in the video is real, but wonders how the pilot knew to zoom in on the item. An aviation expert believes the item is too slow to be an aircraft or missile and does not resemble a drone. He speculated that it may be a solar balloon, although it is exceedingly doubtful because they could not survive at such high altitudes. I don't have a good explanation, he acknowledges. The footage is then classified as a genuine UFO by the show. Commenters appear to agree, explaining that the pilot was able to swiftly zoom in on it because he had previously spotted it, kept his eye on it, grabbed his phone, and knew where to record. Many others believe this UFO is a probe sent to the planet to collect samples or conduct surveillance. It is also worth noting that Navy FA-18 fighter pilots witnessed identical cube-like UFOs at 35,000 feet off the East Coast a few years ago. The Pentagon is still looking into what the objects were. What do you think? Let us know in the comments.